You don't want to admit this, but you've felt it for years. The softest voices in your life carry the sharpest knives. And the people who claim to love you most somehow learned how to wound you in ways strangers never could. You walk through your childhood home like it's familiar territory, but something inside you whispers that this place raised you and caged you at the same time. You survive things you still don't have words for. And tonight, for the first time, you're finally ready to look at the truth every part of you tried to bury. Your greatest enemy was never out there. It was sitting across the dinner table. You feel the ache rising, the guilt, the doubt, the fear of sounding dramatic. But stay here with me. It's okay to feel this. You've carried this longer than you admit. And deep down, you already know the rule no one speaks aloud. Blood betrays you first because blood knows where you break. Something in you shifts when you hear that, like a door cracking open in a dark hallway you've avoided for years. And a whisper escapes the shadows. You were never broken. You were never taught another way. You breathe, slow and uncertain, because this is where the danger begins. Not outside, inside. Inside your name, inside your history, inside the stories they forced you to believe about yourself. And you can feel it now, the forbidden truth pressing against your ribs. This is the moment your life begins to make sense. There's a strange heaviness pulling at your memory, like something is trying to rise from beneath the floorboards of your past. You start to wonder, why do the people closest to me hurt me the most? Why do I shrink around them? Why do their words cut deeper than anyone else's? And in those questions, a quiet storm begins to gather. You think back to the times you tried to speak up, your voice trembling, your pulse sharp, and someone in your family smiled, dismissed you, or called you dramatic. And in that moment, you learn the rule every child internalizes to survive. Your truth is dangerous because their version of you must stay intact. But why? Why did they need control over your identity? Why did your silence benefit them? Your mind begins stitching patterns together. Tiny threads, tiny signals. A glance, a sigh, a phrase they repeated that you always swallowed even though it tasted like poison. You're too sensitive. You think you're better than us. This is just how our family is. You owe us everything. You never questioned it. Not then, but something inside you is questioning it now. You wonder what would happen if you opened the door all the way. If you looked at your past without flinching. If you stopped protecting the people who taught you to harm yourself. A chill slips down your spine. There's more here. Something you weren't supposed to see. And the curiosity becomes unbearable. A psychological shift begins the moment you realize this. The enemy is not always the one who hits you. Sometimes it's the one who teaches you to hit yourself. You start remembering the quiet conditioning, the way they shaped your self-worth like clay, the way they taught you who you were allowed to be, and the way their love always felt conditional, earned, weighted with expectation. You learn to police your own emotions because they couldn't handle them. You learn to shrink your dreams because your ambition threatened them. You learn to agree, appease, adapt because survival required obedience. But something is changing. Something in you is waking up. And the moment awareness enters the room, everything shifts. You feel taller, sharper, less afraid. You see the manipulation for what it was. Not love, but control. Not support, but containment. You whisper the truth to yourself quietly. They weren't protecting me. They were protecting the version of me that benefited them. And once you see that, the spell cracks. This is the moment you cross the threshold. This is the moment your mind stops begging for approval and starts studying the battlefield. You're not imagining this. You were raised to doubt your own perception. Doubt was the leash they placed around your throat. But you feel the leash loosening now. Something inside you is shifting from prey to observer. There is a threat hidden inside every family system, but it's not always violent. Sometimes it's subtle, whisper soft, a quiet pressure that shapes your identity before you're old enough to notice. This is the threat. The roles they gave you were prisons. You were labeled the quiet one, the problem one, the emotional one, the strong one, the responsible one, the black sheep, the golden child, roles designed not to describe you, but to control how you moved. And once the role was assigned, every deviation became betrayal. But here's what they feared. What kept them awake in the dark, knowing you might one day outgrow the person they sculpted. If you became yourself, you'd expose their lies. If you chose freedom, you'd reveal their fear. If you rose, you'd show what they could have been. They didn't want your potential. They wanted your predictability. You feel a tremor behind your ribs, quiet but furious. Because now you see it. Every guilt trip, every silent treatment, every sarcastic comment, every comparison was a way to keep you small. They didn't expect you to wake up, and now that you have, they can feel the danger. The core revelation hits you like cold air. Family is not defined by blood. Family is defined by who benefits from your silence. You realize now that betrayal didn't start when they hurt you. It began when they taught you not to call it hurt. They conditioned you to normalize disrespect, minimize pain, justify cruelty, and assign moral weight to suffering. They taught you that loyalty meant self-sabotage, that love meant endurance, that belonging required obedience. But here, in this moment, something inside you refuses to keep pretending. You whisper the forbidden truth to yourself. If they weren't related to me, I would have walked away years ago. That thought scares you, but it also liberates you. Because once you strip away the blood mythology, you see them for what they are, people. Not gods, not authorities, not fate, just people. Flawed, fragile, and often threatened by the very child they created. The revelation reshapes everything. You weren't the problem. You were the proof they never evolved. A crack forms in the identity they built for you. And through that crack, your real self begins to rise. Memory flickers like broken film. You see yourself at 8, quiet, confused, trying to understand why your feelings felt wrong. You see yourself at 12, learning to walk on eggshells like they were part of the house. You see yourself at 16, feeling guilt for wanting distance, as if freedom was betrayal. You see yourself in your early 20s, choosing silence over conflict because conflict meant punishment. And you see yourself now, older, wiser, finally ready to reclaim the narrative they stole from you. Each micro-scene is a doorway. Each doorway is a truth you avoided. And each truth is a piece of the weapon you're finally forging inside yourself. You survived things you still don't have words for, but now you realize something even more dangerous. You survived people who needed you powerless. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to choose distance. You're allowed to break the cycle they worship. And as these truths gather inside you, something ancient and quiet awakens in your chest. A strength you forgot you had, a clarity they always feared you'd find. This is your emergence, the part of the story where the prey looks back at the predator and the predator finally flinches. You walk into the house that raised you, but tonight it feels different. The air is heavier, quieter. Like the walls know you're no longer the same person who used to shrink beneath their expectations. Your footsteps echo in a place that once felt familiar, but now feels foreign, almost hostile. You look at the framed photos on the walls, faces smiling, pretending, performing, and something inside you whispers the forbidden truth. This was the first battlefield you ever learned to navigate. Your chest tightens, not from fear, but from clarity. You notice how your body reacts before your mind does. Your shoulders tense, your breath softens, your eyes sharpen, scanning the shadows they left inside you. You realize something surreal. You've been walking into rooms your whole life carrying invisible wounds they taught you to hide. You've been adjusting your tone, your posture, your personality to avoid awakening their insecurities. But not tonight. Tonight you feel the air shift when you enter, and you don't shrink this time. You expand. You feel their eyes on you, curious, unsettled, unsure. Because something in your energy is different now. You're not reacting, you're not defending, you're not bending. And the moment you stop bending, they start breaking. You move through the room with a calmness they don't recognize, a silence that forces them to confront their own reflection. You don't flinch when they speak. You don't fill the space with reassurance. You simply exist with presence, measured, grounded, untouchable. And suddenly they're nervous. Not because you threatened them, but because you didn't. The predator-prey dynamic shifts so quietly they don't even notice it at first. But you do. You feel it in your pulse, the moment you stopped being the hunted and became the observer. You sit with them, but you're not the same. You notice patterns now, the tone under their compliments, the hesitation behind their questions, the way they study your reactions like they're trying to see if they still control the script. You watch their micro-expressions, their forced smiles, their nervous glances, their sudden sweetness. A performance you used to fall for, but now after everything you've learned, you see straight through it. A curiosity stirs in you. Why are they so afraid of your inner evolution? What identity of theirs collapses if you finally rise? You feel threads opening across your thoughts. Why were they more comfortable when you were small? Who benefits from your guilt? What truth about them becomes exposed when you reclaim your voice? What happens when the child stops carrying ancestral wounds? Why is your strength seen as betrayal? Each question hangs in the air like a quiet storm. You don't answer them yet. You don't have to. Your silence is forcing them to reveal the answers themselves. Someone at the table shifts nervously. Someone else over-explains. Another avoids eye contact. And it hits you. This isn't a family gathering. This is a mirror maze, and they're terrified of what you might reflect back. You lean back. You watch. Their discomfort grows. Not because you attacked, but because you finally stopped appeasing. They don't know what you'll do next, and uncertainty is the one thing they cannot handle. The rhythm breaks. A comment slips from one of them, soft, subtle, meant to put you back in your place. It's disguised as humor, a playful jab, a familiar pattern, but this time you don't flinch. You don't smile. You don't rescue them from the discomfort of their own cruelty. You just look at them, calm, silent, unmoved, and suddenly the room feels colder. They fidget, waiting for your reaction. They expect the old you, the one who laughed it off, minimized the sting, protected the family image at the cost of your own dignity. But that version of you is gone. This version holds eye contact. This version doesn't explain. This version lets silence burn until the truth behind their words becomes too obvious to deny. You watch them crack under the weight of their own intent. Someone tries to change the subject. Someone else forces an awkward laugh. Another clears their throat, pretending nothing happened. But the tension stays, because you did something they never prepared for. You didn't defend yourself. You didn't react. You made them confront themselves. And for the first time, they realize the power dynamic has reversed. You're no longer the child trying to earn acceptance. You're the adult forcing accountability without speaking a single word. Suspense rises, not in you, in them. They're waiting for a version of you that will never walk into this room again. You stand now, not to leave the room, but to reclaim your place in it. Your presence shifts the entire atmosphere. Your calm becomes a warning. Your silence becomes instruction. Your stillness becomes a kind of gravity they can't escape. And in this moment, you say something, not to them, but to the person watching this video right now. You're not broken. You were never taught another way. The words slip out of you like a quiet revolution. Because you need to hear this. Because someone out there has carried a lifetime of wounds stitched into their family name, believing it was love. But this moment right here is the truth rising. You survived your family. Now you get to outgrow them. And if this message is hitting too close, too deep, too accurately, that's not coincidence. That's your awakening. You are allowed to evolve past the versions of yourself they depended on. You are allowed to break patterns they worship. You are allowed to build a life where peace is normal, not earned. And if you're feeling that pull in your chest, that recognition, that discomfort, that clarity, follow it. There's more you need to learn, more you need to uncover, more you need to finally release. Stay with me. You're walking into a new identity, and this journey is only just beginning. You take one last breath in the room that shaped you and whisper to yourself the truth they always feared you'd discover. I don't belong to the wounds that made me. The house exhales, the history trembles, and you walk away, not as who they raised, but as who you finally chose to become. A blade of light in a lineage of shadows.